Do you know what's required by law to paddleboard in Canada? In this video, I'll outline what you need to paddleboard in Canada and other safety items you should consider bringing. Under the small vessel regulations by Transport Canada, if you are paddling on a body of water going from point A to point B, you are navigating and required to have the following. 1. A sound signaling device. I would recommend a non-metal P-less whistle like a Fox 40. Non-metal P-less whistles have a strong sound, work in all types of conditions, are easy to clean, and don't need something like a battery to work. 2. A life jacket or a PFD. Here you have two options that most people are not aware of. Option 1. You carry your life jacket or PFD on your paddleboard. If this is the case, you must also have a buoyant heaving line of at least 15 meters. The heaving line must float, be in good condition, be one full length of rope and not a bunch tied together, and be used only for a piece of safety equipment so it's ready to use in case of an emergency. Option 2. You wear your life jacket or PFD and a buoyant heaving line is not required. Keep in mind, if you're using an inflatable PFD, they can't just be kept on your paddleboard, they must be worn. I always opt for option 2 and wear my PFD. PFDs are meant to be worn and can save your life. 3. A watertight flashlight. This is required at nighttime or in low lighting, such as before sunrise, after sunset, or in conditions with poor visibility. If you are on your paddleboard and you are parked and playing at a waterfront or by a dock, or are participating in SUP yoga or surfing, then Transport Canada doesn't consider this a regulated vessel for mandatory equipment. However, keep in mind how you're getting to and from these activities, such as paddling to where you'll be practicing yoga. Remember, Transport Canada requires these safety items when you're traveling from A to B. It's always important to be safe. These laws are here to protect you. Plus, you could be fined with non-compliance. Boating laws change, so be sure you're up to date. See the link below for Transport Canada's Safe Boating Guide. Now let's talk about other recommended safety items. Number 1, a leash. Supported but surprisingly not required by law by Transport Canada. However, I have seen marine police check for leashes, especially since a lot of people don't have or don't know that they are required to have a buoyant heaving line when they are not wearing their PFD. I wouldn't be surprised if these regulations change to include a leash, especially with the gaining popularity of paddleboarding. I believe leashes are an important piece of safety equipment and should always be worn. Leashes keep your board with you at all times. Make sure you're wearing the proper leash for the type of paddling you're doing. For example, if you're paddling in moving water, like a river, you'll need a quick release system, which gives you the ability to quickly separate from your leash and your board in an emergency situation. 2. Communication. Be sure your device is fully charged and in a waterproof protective case. 3. Navigation, either with GPS or with a compass. 4. Water. Water is always important to bring. Consider bringing extra, especially on hot days. 5. Clothing and gear. Always dress for the water temperatures and consider bringing an extra layer with you. 6. Protection from the sun and bugs. Bring a hat, sunscreen, sunglasses, and consider bringing bug spray depending on where you're paddling. 7. Snacks. Snacks are always fun to bring, but they can also be extremely handy to have when you have low energy or when your paddle ends up being longer than planned. 8. Wallet. Pack your ID, health card, some cash. You never know when you will need this in an emergency situation. It's also important to keep your emergency contact information on you and store it somewhere like a pocket on your life jacket or PFD. Number 9, a first aid kit. Even for shorter recreational paddles, it's a good idea to carry a basic first aid kit. There'll be other pieces of safety equipment you'll need to have or want to have depending on the type of paddling you're doing, the environment you're paddling in, longer expeditions, remote areas, and specialty paddles like whitewater. it never hurts to be over-prepared. Safety never takes a holiday. Don't forget to check the conditions and your equipment every time you go out for a paddle. Always be prepared and plan for the best types of adventures. If you're outside of Canada, follow what we discussed as a good guideline, but check your local requirements. Let me know in the comments what your local requirements are and what other safety items you bring with you on your paddles. Until next time, stay safe and happy adventuring.